Welcome to Echoes of Wisdom, where ancient knowledge meets modern science. I'm your host, and today we're exploring a fascinating concept that guided herbal medicine for centuries, the doctrine of signatures. The belief that plants resembling specific body parts were designed by nature to heal those very parts. For thousands of years, healers across cultures believed that nature provided visual clues about plants' medicinal properties. A walnut's resemblance to the human brain, a kidney bean's shape, or the blood-red juice of certain roots. These similarities weren't considered coincidental but divine guidance. Today we'll explore this ancient doctrine and see how it compares with our modern understanding of plant medicines. Before we begin, please note that the information presented in this video is educational in nature and not intended as medical advice. Many plants discussed may be toxic if improperly used. If you have health concerns or questions about herbal remedies, please consult a qualified healthcare professional. Always consult with qualified healthcare professionals for any health-related concerns. Section 1. Origins and History of the Doctrine. The core idea behind the doctrine of signatures, that a plant's appearance indicates its healing properties, appears independently across diverse cultures throughout history. While often associated with medieval European medicine, similar concepts existed in ancient Chinese, Egyptian, and indigenous American healing traditions, suggesting a universal human tendency to seek meaningful patterns in nature. Early written references to plant signatures appear in the works of classical authors like Dioscorides and Galen. However, these thinkers generally considered a plant's visual characteristics as just one of many properties to consider alongside taste, smell, and observed effects. The concept wasn't yet formalized into a comprehensive doctrine. The doctrine of signatures was formally developed during the Renaissance by figures like Paracelsus, the 16th century Swiss physician and alchemist. Paracelsus proposed that God had marked everything in nature with a sign, a signature, indicating its purpose. According to his philosophy, which blended alchemy, astrology, and Christian theology, these signatures revealed divine intention and guided humans toward proper medicinal use of plants. The term doctrine of signatures was coined by the German mystic Jakob Böhme in his 1621 work, Signatura Rerum, or the signature of all things. Böhme expanded the concept beyond medicine into a comprehensive spiritual philosophy, asserting that God had placed visible signs throughout creation, revealing inner spiritual qualities. In England, herbalists William Coles and Nicholas Culpeper popularized the doctrine. Coles's 1657 work, Adam and Eden, explicitly organized plants by their signatures, while Culpeper's famous Herbal Connected Plant appearances to both body parts and astrological influences. These widely read texts cemented the doctrine's influence on European folk medicine for centuries to come. Section 2. Classic examples of plant signatures. The walnut provides perhaps the most frequently cited example of a signature. Its wrinkled kernel bears a remarkable resemblance to the human brain, complete with hemispheres, cortical folds, and even a structure similar to the brainstem. According to the doctrine, this signature indicated walnuts could treat brain ailments, boost intellectual capacity, and prevent headaches. Eyebright, or euphrasia, features small flowers with contrasting colors resembling bloodshot eyes, complete with what looks like a pupil and radiating lines like blood vessels. This striking signature led to its widespread use for treating eye conditions, from common inflammations to cataracts and failing vision. The herb became so associated with eye health that its very name reflects this purpose. Lungwort, pulmonaria, displays leaves with a distinctive spotted pattern thought to resemble diseased lung tissue. This signature, along with the plant's lung-shaped leaves, indicated its use for respiratory conditions like tuberculosis, pneumonia, and asthma. The plant even received its scientific name from this signature. Pulmonaria derives from the Latin for lung. Kidney beans take their name directly from their distinctive shape, resembling human kidneys. According to the doctrine, this signature clearly indicated their purpose in supporting kidney function and treating kidney diseases. Many cultures independently developed this association, using these beans to address urinary and kidney disorders. Bloodroot, Sanguinaria canadensis, produces a vivid red sap when cut, a signature that led to its use for blood disorders. Its scientific name derives from sanguis, the Latin word for blood. Indigenous North American healers used it for circulatory problems, while European settlers adopted it for heart conditions, fever, and as a blood purifier. Yellow-colored plants were frequently associated with liver disorders and jaundice. Celandine, dandelion, and goldenrod, all producing yellow flowers or sap, were commonly prescribed for liver complaints. This connection between yellow plants and the yellowish appearance of bile or jaundiced skin appeared across numerous healing traditions. Ginseng's reputation as a whole-body tonic stems partly from its remarkable human-like appearance. The root often resembles a human form with limb-like offshoots, sometimes even appearing to have facial features. This signature suggested it embodied a complete human essence, making it suitable for strengthening the entire body. The name ginseng derives from Chinese terms meaning man essence. Are you finding these historical connections between plants and healing fascinating? Then please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Sharing with friends who appreciate the dialogue between ancient wisdom and modern understanding helps our channel's garden grow. Now let's continue our exploration. Section 3. Cultural variations of the doctrine. While we focused on the European development of the doctrine of signatures, similar principles guided healing traditions worldwide. These parallel developments suggest something universal about the human tendency to find meaningful connections between plant appearances and their healing properties. In traditional Chinese medicine, plant characteristics were connected to specific organs through the system of correspondences. For instance, red plants were associated with heart health, reflecting the heart's connection to the fire element and blood. However, Chinese medicine incorporated these visual associations into a more complex system that also considered taste, temperature properties, and energetic qualities. Indigenous American healing traditions across North, Central, and South America recognized plant signatures. The Cherokee, for example, used butterfly-shaped plants for lung issues and heart-shaped leaves for heart ailments. However, their understanding often integrated spiritual dimensions, with plants selected through a combination of observable signatures and knowledge received through dreams or visions. Ayurvedic medicine from India recognized plant signatures but integrated them within its sophisticated system of doshas and energetic properties. Plants were classified according to multiple characteristics, with visual similarities being just one factor in determining medicinal applications. The holistic Ayurvedic approach considered how plants affected the balance of bodily energies beyond simple visual correspondences. Across Africa, traditional healing systems developed their own interpretations of plant signatures. In many traditions, a plant's habitat and behavior were considered as significant as its appearance. For example, plants that thrived in harsh conditions might be used to treat people who needed to develop resilience, extending the concept of signatures beyond physical resemblance to metaphorical connections. Section 4. Scientific evaluation of signature plants. While the philosophical basis of the doctrine of signatures has been largely abandoned by modern science, many plants identified through this doctrine have indeed proven medicinally valuable when subjected to scientific scrutiny. This raises fascinating questions about whether these visual correlations were merely coincidental or reflect deeper biological relationships. Modern research has found walnuts contain high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and neuroprotective compounds that do benefit brain health. Studies show walnut consumption is associated with better cognitive function and reduced risk of neurodegenerative diseases. While this doesn't validate the spiritual basis of the doctrine, it suggests the observed brain-like signature correlated with genuine brain benefits. Scientific studies on eyebright have identified anti-inflammatory compounds and astringent properties that can benefit eye conditions. Research confirms it contains aucubin and luteolin, which have demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects beneficial for conjunctivitis and other eye irritations. While not a cure-all for eye diseases as once believed, the plant does contain compounds specifically helpful for certain eye conditions. Lungwort contains mucilage, saponins, and flavonoids with documented expectorant, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties beneficial for respiratory conditions. Modern studies confirm it can soothe irritated respiratory tissues and help expel mucus. These pharmacological properties align with its traditional use for lung complaints, though through mechanisms unknown to early herbalists. Bloodroot contains powerful alkaloids, particularly sanguinarine, with documented antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. However, modern research has revealed significant toxicity concerns, including serious tissue damage from topical application. This highlights an important limitation of the doctrine of signatures. A visual correspondence doesn't guarantee safety or optimal therapeutic use. Many yellow plants traditionally used for liver conditions, including dandelion, golden seal, and turmeric, do contain compounds that stimulate bile production, protect liver cells, or reduce inflammation. Modern research has identified specific mechanisms through which these plants benefit liver function, including antioxidant effects, bile stimulation, and hepatocyte protection. These findings suggest the color-based signature correlated with genuine biological activity. Section 5. Why did the doctrine sometimes work? If the spiritual premise of the doctrine of signatures has been discarded, how do we explain its occasional successes? Several factors likely contributed to the effectiveness of some signature-based remedies, ranging from coincidence to more complex biological relationships. One explanation involves simple probability and confirmation bias. Among the thousands of plants used medicinally throughout history, some would inevitably resemble body parts by chance. Successful treatments would be remembered and recorded, while unsuccessful ones would be forgotten, creating an impression of reliability stronger than the actual correlation. This selection bias affected medical literature for centuries. The doctrine likely served as a memorable framework for organizing genuinely effective remedies discovered through centuries of trial and error. In pre-literate or limited literacy societies, visual associations provided powerful memory aids. Plants with signatures might have been tried first for certain conditions, but retained in traditional pharmacopoeias only if they produced results. A more intriguing possibility involves co-evolutionary relationships. Plants produce thousands of secondary metabolites primarily to defend against predators and pathogens. Through evolutionary history, animals, including humans, developed physiological responses to these compounds. In some cases, physical features of plants, shape, color, might correlate with particular classes of compounds they produce, creating indirect connections between appearance and medicinal effects. Plant pigments offer a concrete example of these relationships. Many yellow, red, and purple plant pigments, including flavonoids and carotenoids, function as powerful antioxidants. Plants displaying these colors often contain higher concentrations of these compounds, which provide health benefits when consumed. This creates a genuine correlation between color, a visual signature, and therapeutic potential. At a molecular level, the shape of compounds determines how they interact with receptors in the human body. Plants producing compounds with shapes that effectively bind to specific human receptors might evolve physical features reflecting these molecular patterns. This represents a theoretical mechanism for how physical resemblance could occasionally correlate with therapeutic effect, though such connections would be coincidental rather than purposefully designed. These historical approaches to plant medicine connect to several upcoming episodes, including sacred saliva, ancient healing properties versus modern enzymatic understanding, and hair as history, ancient hair symbolism versus modern forensic analysis. Section 6. Legacy and modern implications. While the doctrine of signatures has been replaced by evidence-based pharmacology, its legacy persists in several ways. Many important modern medicines originated from plants first utilized under this doctrine. More broadly, the concept influenced how we think about natural remedies and continues to inspire research into traditional medicinal plants. Numerous modern pharmaceuticals derive from plants originally used based partly on signatures. Foxglove, whose flower resembles a human heart when turned upside down, was traditionally used for heart conditions. This led to the discovery of digitalis, which revolutionized heart disease treatment. Similarly, willow bark, whose preferred habitat near water connected it to fever and inflammation associated with overheating, gave us salicylic acid, the precursor to aspirin. Ethnobotanists and pharmacologists now systematically investigate traditional remedies, recognizing that centuries of observational experience may identify genuinely effective treatments. Rather than dismissing concepts like the doctrine of signatures entirely, modern researchers see traditional frameworks as valuable tools for identifying promising candidates for scientific investigation. Educational herb gardens often include sections on signature plants, presenting both historical understanding and modern scientific knowledge. This approach acknowledges our medical heritage while providing accurate contemporary information, helping visitors appreciate the evolving nature of human knowledge without romanticizing pre-scientific approaches. Perhaps most importantly, the doctrine of signatures reminds us that plants remain an invaluable source of medicinal compounds. As biodiversity decreases through habitat destruction, countless potentially valuable plant compounds may be lost before discovery. Conservation efforts preserve not just ecological systems, but potential future medicines. Whether identified through traditional knowledge, modern screening methods, or combinations of both approaches. If this exploration of plant signatures and their scientific evaluation has cultivated your curiosity, please support our channel by subscribing, hitting the bell icon for notifications, and sharing with friends who appreciate the dialogue between traditional wisdom and modern science. Your engagement helps us continue growing these educational journeys. In conclusion, from the doctrine of signatures to modern pharmacognosy, our understanding of medicinal plants has evolved tremendously. While we no longer believe plants were divinely marked with signs of their purpose, the visual observations made by early herbalists sometimes led them to effective remedies, demonstrating the value of careful observation even within outdated theoretical frameworks. The story of the doctrine of signatures teaches us something valuable about the relationship between traditional knowledge and modern science. Rather than simply dismissing historical approaches as superstition, we can appreciate them as early attempts to systematize observations about the natural world, laying groundwork for the more rigorous methods that followed. Perhaps most importantly, this historical journey reminds us that human knowledge develops continuously rather than through complete replacements of old systems with new ones. Modern pharmacology didn't emerge from nowhere. It built upon centuries of careful observation by traditional healers worldwide. By honoring this continuity, we gain both historical perspective and greater appreciation for the complex relationship between humans and medicinal plants. Thank you for watching Echoes of Wisdom. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating connections between ancient knowledge and modern understanding. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Every bit helps.